Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Life Coaching Access, your daily access with professional certified life coaches brought to you by Life Coach Philippines. And Life Coach Philippines is our community of professional life coaches certified by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, a bona fide institute for mental health that is based in Dallas, Texas, USA. And Life Coaching Access is our service to the community wherein we aim to help individuals experience the process of transformation through the platform of life coaching. So if you want to know more about our international coaching classes or services, please connect with Coach Rizel through 0917-586-1661 for assistance. And of course, I'd like to invite you Sorry, I think I had an internet problem. But let me invite you again. We're going to be having our next certification class this coming February 19 and 25. So if you want to be a change agent like us, you want to help people, transform people, and get to still practice and earn, then do join us. We have a lot that we can offer you. Just connect, of course, with Coach Rizel. And of course, we also have our mental health certification program. So later on, I'll be showing you the details of that. And of course, I am Coach Tin de Joya, and you are watching Relationlift, which is your access with me is every Monday at 3 p.m. And for today's segment, of course, medyo controversial ang ating topic. We're going to be talking about love in marriage, obedience. Obedience, of course, at times is really very difficult, and at times we really struggle with it. I am also one of those people who struggle with that. Later on, you will know. We'll discuss about it. So please tag your friends in the comment below and invite them to join our conversation. You may also share this FB Live to your timeline and FB groups and pages so that we can reach more people and help transform lives. So, if issue sa'yo ang obedience, submission to your partner, then do journey with me this afternoon and let's talk about submission or obedience. This is a very difficult topic to really talk about. But let's see where it's really coming from. And of course, let me just acknowledge all the coaches who have joined me today. Of course, we have Coach Candy and my better half, Coach Sean, Coach Glacy, Master Coach Jasmine, and thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. So let's tag our friends along and let's invite them to join us. Yung mga titas ng Gcap, asa na po ba kayo? Nakakatuwa kasi pag nandito yung mga singles, medyo nagiging lively ang ating discussion for this afternoon. So let's invite everyone to jump in and join us here on the digital space. Let's create some positive noise in the digital space. So yes, of course, you're watching Relationlift, and but before that, as I've mentioned earlier, for for those who've been wanting to become change agents like us, you are very much welcome to join us in the profession. So we'll be having our virtual class this coming February 19 and 25. And of course, that's going to be conducted by Master Coach Lakendra Smallid, who is the CEO and founder of our institute, and of course, Master Coach A, who is the global partner of the Institute. All our trainings, all our learnings is really coming from Master Coach A. And yes, if you're also a mental health advocate and you've been wanting to help people who are experiencing mental health conditions, or you have someone in the family that you think needed support in the mental health aspect, then do join our certification class. That's gonna be also on February 27, 28, and March 5. So to know more about it, just connect, of course, with our OM and also one of the core team of Master Coach A. I'm talking about Coach Rizel, so do connect with her at 0917-586-1661 to know more about life coaching and, of course, the mental health certification that we are offering. So for everyone who's joining me, if this is the first time that you are seeing me in the digital space, of course, I am Coach Tin de Joya. I am a certified life coach and mental health coach by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs based in Dallas, Texas, USA. And I am a mom of two teenagers, and I'm also a mental health advocate. I've been journeying since 2017, 2018 in the for mental health, advocating it since our family have it. So there's always help available. So if you're one of those looking for help, do connect with me, or else you can also connect with our HR department. I am an HR practitioner for more than a decade in one of the largest BPO in the country. And of course, I was holding I was part of I am under the HR umbrella when I was working before. So of course I have a background in HR practices. So but yep, we have someone also doing that for us. So you can connect with her as well. Later on, she's gonna be doing her life coaching access, and she focuses more on HR. So if you're someone looking for help in the HR department, then we have one. Of course, for if you're also looking for safety in the workplace, we also have that. So tune in tomorrow. Madami po kami dito sa life coaching access that you can really get to be able to learn and get help from. So the coaches that you see online, most of them are really doing the life coaching access, and we have specific topics or a specific niche that you can watch or you can connect to. So do join us every day at different time slots. So we suggest you follow Life Coach PH and activate the notification button so that you will be notified whenever there is a new video or a new FB Live which is being shown. So just click on subscribe to our page or join. And of course, my mission is to help 1 million women who are fighting to keep their relationship to be whole, to love, and to create a space where the family thrives. It's very important that we really work on the family as of this time so that we can have a better place for the new generation. So as you watch today, I ask you to be intentional. If you hear something that connects with you, or if you get something that you think could help someone, then do share it in your timeline, in your FB pages. You can also share the replay. Do not forget to use hashtag Pack My Bag Moment, hashtag Relationlift, and hashtag Life Coaching Access, so that I will be able to follow your posts and also do some comments and sharing. So what is really the pack my bag moment? Di ba, when you're attending seminars or workshops, there are some instances wherein the facilitator or the moderator is able to say something which captures you, which makes you think, aha, that's it for me. So parang if I pay for it, sulit na yung bayad ko. So I'm okay to go home even if I don't hear the rest. So if you captured that today in this talk, then please do share. We would greatly appreciate it that you're able to share and really get to help others as well, or bless others with the learnings that you get for this afternoon. So what's our topic? As you can see, di ba, loved in marriage, obedience. Seriously, in Ephesians 5:22 to 24, it says, "Wives, obey your husbands as you obey the Lord. The husband is the head of the wife, just as Christ is the head of the church people. The church is his body, and he saved it." So, di ba, when we were last year, 2 years ago, I think we attended a retreat, and one of the talk was centered on obedience, the wife submitting to the husband. And of course, when I heard it, parang immediate, may violent reaction agad ako. So, yung mga wife dyan, kaway-kaway, hello, Coach Cherry, thank you so much for joining. Yes, si Doraemon. I'm a fan of Doraemon and I have a collections of Doraemon. Kaya siya yung ginamit ko for my pack, my bag. And hello, Miss Elisa. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So, nung narinig ko yung talk about obedience, of course, my initial reaction was really parang dapat ba talaga obedience? Kasi 'di ba, we're so used to ano ba kasi yung obedience? Obedience at times it's really so difficult. It's so difficult for us to obey. We struggle with obedience even when we were kids. Kaya nga tayo may tendency to be rebellious at times because we don't really want to obey kasi alam naman natin yung rules and all. And of course, tama si Coach Lynn, sabi niya submission. Ang connotation kasi natin ng obedience is submission. So, it's a very difficult or hard word, especially when it is in a relationship or in marriage. Parang, why would I submit? We have equal rights. We are partners. We are a team. So, hindi talaga pwedeng magsasubmit ako. Kumbaga, we always have to talk about it equally. Or, kailangan sigurong laging pag-usapan. Tapos, mahirap kasing tanggapin na, di ba, gusto natin na yung partner natin susunod sa atin, which is, at times, hindi talaga siya nangyayari. So, most often, it's so difficult for us. Advantageously, kung it's on our advantage, it's easy. But, if we have to give in and let our partners decide, medyo mahirap siya. So, in this case, yung sa case namin when we were listening really to the talk, it's really parang a part of me says, parang hindi ko talaga kayang mag-submit. So, kumbaga, in marriage, it's also something that we hesitate or we feel some resistance. Kasi nga, sabi ko nga, we are used to having that equal rights, we are equal human beings, and di ba lumaki ka, lalo na kung lumaki ka na very independent, like, nakapag-aral ka na without the help of your parents kasi nagtrabaho ka and also you're very independent and when entering into the relationship, especially in marriage, biglang submit to the husband. Parang, wait lang, kailan ko ba talagang mag-submit? So may ganun tayong may ganung pakiramdam. How does really obedience look like to you? Kasi ako talaga nung una, when it says obedience, has a wife, obey your husbands, or submit to your husband as you submit to the Lord. Parang, yes, I can submit to the Lord, pero hindi talaga sa husband ko eh. Parang, wait lang. Ayoko ng word na submission. Iba kasi talaga yung connotation nung submission na word. But even in the Bible, nandun talaga siya, ang nakasulat siya na obey and submit. So, what is really obedience? In the dictionary, if you take a look at it, it's compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority. So, andun ulit yung word, submit to another's authority. So, ibig sabihin ba, wala akong authority sa marriage namin? Siya lang talaga yung may authority sa marriage? Kaya dapat submit to him. And what is obedience? In simple psychology, it says obedience is a form of social influence where an individual acts in response to a direct order from another individual who is usually an authority figure. So it is assumed that without such an order, the person would not have acted in this way. So meron ulit na word na in response to a direct order from another individual who is a figure of authority. So, syempre, kakalas ulit yung brain mo, sasabihin mo, para talagang parehas kami authority eh. Bakit kailangan sa kanya lang? But really, if you check it out, there is a qualification dun sa, hindi naman sinabi na you submit because you submit and then be abused. Hindi naman siya ganun. It's just that in the current state that we have or in the modern culture, we have this feminism, we have this sexist view na pag nag-submit ka sa husband mo, it means na you are very weak. May ganun kasi tayong connotation. Iba kasi yung nakikita natin, yung mga nakikita natin sa TV, nakikita natin sa movies na when someone submits, it's really very meek, very na parang walang voice. Kaya feeling natin, when we enter into the relationship, hindi talaga pwede yung submission. I will obey, pero hanggang magkaiba kasing word ang obedience and submission. However, kasi what we usually do is we connote it to obedience is submission. Kaya tayo nahihirapan din to really come into terms ng about obedience. But really, tama nga si Coach Lynn, ang design talaga natin when we enter into a marriage is to be the able helper of your husband. So, yun talaga siya. It's just, kaya dapat at you really have to obey kasi, but you work hand in hand with your husband. Kaya lang kasi nare-retain sa atin na perception is the submission, obedience is equal to submission, which is equal to weakness. Kaya hirap na hirap din tayo na to really use the word obey when it comes to our relationship. So, to honor and obey, is there such a thing as authority in marriage where the husband has the authority and the wife has to submit? Yung mga kinasal sa church, or if you're familiar with this, we have this vow, di ba, na I take thee to be my wedded wife or husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, and obey till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereto I pledge thee my faith. When I was doing the talk, I was looking at this particular vows, marriage vows, and it seems that some of the word to obey or and obey has been removed in the marriage vow. Kasi nga feeling daw masyadong sexist. However, if you take a look at pangit din kasi yung naging origin niya. In the Roman origins in history, the historians note that the original wording that required women to obey their husbands likely originated among the ancient Romans who viewed females as the property of first their fathers and then their husbands. So, parang property yung tingin sa'yo, kaya naging ganun yung tingin natin na pag ginamit natin yung word na obedience in the relationship, feeling natin submission siya and you are weak and you are being treated as a property kasi in the Roman history, ganun yung tingin sa babae. And then, but in the biblical origin naman, it's really part of what God has ordained. That if specifically in Ephesians 5:21 to 24, dito talaga nakalagay na wife should submit yourselves to your husband. You should obey your husband. For the husband is the head of the wife as Christ is the head of the church. So, andun talaga siya. Hindi siya nilagay doon just to be part of the Bible, but really, there is really something in it wherein we have to, kaya nga siya, to honor and obey. So, what is good in obeying your husband? Tingnan natin yan, kung ano ba talaga yung benefits if we obey our husband. Ano ba kasi yung nawawala, na feeling natin na nawawala sa atin as wives pag we obey. In obedience, of course, you show him that you trust him. The picture says it all. Feeling mo ba yung hulog ng lalaki yung babae, bibitawan niya? Syempre, it's really more of trust. When we talk about obedience, sabi ko nga kanina, we usually talk about submission. So, wives should submit to their husband. So, dito ngayon nagkakaroon ng struggle because of how we see the word obedience, which is equated to submission. But marriage is supposed to be a union between two people who fully and completely trust each other. So that means that you're ready to give the reins over to your husband sometimes, especially when it comes to making decisions. After all, if you're in a loving marriage, what makes you worried? Your husband is bound, of course, to make a choice that's best for both of you. Now, you might think that your husband knows you trust him without you having to submit to him. But how would he or how would you show to him, especially if you're usually the one who's making all the decisions? So ikaw lagi yung nagde-decide sa family. How could your husband see that you are in obedience? And of course, what better way to do it is really to let him take the control in the relationship. Kasi nga siya nga yung head ng family, and even in the Bible, it's really written that the husband is the head of the family. So, what makes us take our control out of our husband? And hello, Wazer. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if I pronounce it right, but thank you so much for joining us today. And I see Coach Ed, of course, and hello Coach Edwin. Thank you so much for joining. So of course, so that's the first when you obey your husband, that means you show him that you trust him. Second is you will influence each other. So in marriage, unity comes first, individuality second. So yes, of course, you are still your own person, but you also agreed to be part of a couple and share your life with someone. So that comes with many benefits, but also a few sacrifices. Nakita ko to kanina sinabi ni Coach Lynn eh. There is a sacrifice. There is obedience is better than sacrifice, but there is also a sacrifice part. Few sacrifices. Of course, your full independence is one of them. Kasi kung dati sanay ka na, ikaw lang talaga nagde-decide. Syempre, when you enter into the relationship, you of course allow your partner to decide in behalf of you. Kaya nga, there should be an influence to the both of you. So, that might be, syempre, giving up your your full independence is one of the sacrifices that you have to make, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need to give up your hobbies and dreams. Iba po siya. At times kasi, yun nga, we connote it with submission that it's so hard for us to give up our independence kasi feeling natin pati yung dreams natin and hobbies natin mawawala. But it just simply means that you should open up to your husband's influence and allow him to change some aspects of you. And of course, your husband would also similarly allow you to influence him. That way, the two of you can grow together and become the best versions of yourself. So you allow each other to influence each other. So if you are in a loving relationship, hindi talaga issue yung submission because both of you will be growing. And um, tama si Coach Lynn ba yung kanina nakita parang enlightened relationship. Yes, you can also come to this stage wherein you will come into an enlightened ways sir. Ways sir, sige. Thank you so much Coach Cherry. So that's one of course. So allowing obedience in your relationship or obedience to your husband allows you to of course influence each other. And if you're someone having difficulty really expressing yourself, then maybe I can journey with you, connect with me, and let's talk. Let's have a chat and talk about let's journey and avail of the Careless Coaching Bundle wherein you're able to learn how to express yourself, excuse me, gain control of yourself and your relationship, and create the life you want for yourself and your family. Ako talaga uminom. And then, so journey with me, connect with me. I'll give you my contact. You can find me in Facebook and let's have a chat. And of course, another way when you obey your husband or what good does obedience do in the relationship? Of course, there is no unnecessary conflicts. Madalas ba kayong nag-aaway over trivial things? Time and time again, paulit-ulit na lang. Well, it happens of course to married couples and both parties firmly believe that they're right and refuse to give in. However, having it in the relationship only leads to tensions, arguments, and necessary stress. And yet, all that is entirely avoidable. That means submitting to your husband will change the turbulent marriage into a smooth sailing and making communication between the two of you much easier. Baka naman kasi, yung term na headbutt, pag may sinabi siya, kontra ka agad. So, ang hirap mag-submit. So, sino ba kasi yung madalas mag-decision sa family? And of course, do you allow your husband to really decide for your family? Or tinitingnan mo na lagi niyang hindi kaya. Kung hindi niya kaya, bakit ka pa kasi nagpakasal? Di ba? May mga ganun talagang moments na kung kailan nandun na sa relationship, gusto laging nasusunod. But remember, a relationship is a partnership, and submitting to your husband is really honoring God's ano ba yung term doon? It's also honoring God kasi even in the Bible, it's really stated that wife should obey or submit to their husband. So may ano siya malalim talaga yung sorry, medyo nag-hang ang aking internet. I'm not really sure why na para siyang nawawala. But coming back into the discussion, so being submitting or obeying your husband allows you really to prevent the unnecessary conflicts in the relationship. And of course, your marriage will flourish forever and always. Some people will tell you that in marriage, both the husband and the wives have their roles. For instance, the husband's role is to lead, protect, and provide, while the wife's purpose is to nurture, care, and support. But when both parties or both spouses are fulfilling their respective roles, of course, the marriage flourishes. So now you may not like this division into roles, but you can't deny that each spouse has their own needs. Remember, both of you are different persons that who have come together. So the fundamental the fundamental anong requirement actually is husbands wants their wives to respect them and rely on them, while the wives wants to feel safe and cherished and loved. But when you submit to your husband, you fulfill his needs, the respect that he needs, and he encourage him to take care of yours too. You're allowing the person to perform the role he was meant to be when you submit to your husband. And of course, a fulfilled needs ensure a long and marriage or happy relationship. So hindi naman po talagang masama ang mag-submit sa husband. It's just that we have to look at it at a different perspective because although they are different words, obedience and submission, we cannot equate that they are the same. Hindi natin pa rin sabihin obedience is equal to submission. Doon kasi tayo nagkakaroon ng struggle. Aminado ako, isa din yun sa mga struggles ko dati, especially when yung mga nakapag-attend na ng retreat dito, especially mga marriage retreat, meron talaga na lagi nilang dinidiscuss yung submission. Wife submit to your husband or obey your husband. Hirap na hirap talaga ako doon. Ang hirap parang i-align kasi ang pakiramdam ko, hindi dapat may voice din ako, dapat may right din ako. Hindi naman talaga tinatanggal yung voice mo in the relationship. Hindi din talaga tinatanggal yung right mo in the relationship. But what it specifically means is that you allow your husband to really fulfill his role as the leader, the protector of the family. That's why you have to submit. Hindi pwedeng ikaw talaga yung nagli-lead ng family. Because in the family, your role is to be the able partner of your husband. So, tips on how to submit to your husband, you will see ang simple lang pala na kung paano mo siya susundin na hindi mo kailangang na hindi mo mafe-feel na kailangan mong bumaba in a sense na feeling mo aping-api ka kasi sumunod ka. It's not really about it. At times kasi iba yung tingin natin. But when I was checking on this, madali lang naman pala at ginagawa din natin. Ayaw lang talaga natin yung term minsan kung bakit may struggle tayo to really do it. Um, so first, of course, is let him take the lead. When it comes to managing the household and your marriage, you probably often feel your husband isn't up to the task. Somehow, it always seems that if you don't take things in your hands, they'll never be done properly. And you will, kaya minsan may feeling ka na parang hindi niya maayos, so let me take the lead, which is not really doing us any good. Kasi in the long run, our partners will really find it na parang walang respect sa relationship because you do not honor him being the man of the house. So let him take the lead. Hindi ibig sabihin na he's taking the lead, inaapi ka din or hindi ka na nakakapag-decide for the family. And so it's important to let your husband take charge. That way, you show him that you value and trust his judgment. And in turn, of course, maganda din sa pakiramdam na, di ba minsan pag may mga may mga friends ako na minsan magsasabi, parang lahat na lang ng desisyon akin, yung asawa ko hindi nagde-decide. Ang tanong kasi doon, hinayaan mo ba kasing magdesisyon yung asawa mo? Or pag hindi pa siya nakakasagot, since gusto mo agad ng sagot, ikaw na magdidesisyon kasi ang tagal. So may mga ganun. So a marriage kasi is really a journey with each other. Eh. Hindi siya yung kung nasanay ka nung single ka, syempre single ka, madaling magdesisyon na ikaw lang. Nang hindi mo minsan nga biglaan yung mga decisions mo. Eh syempre pag may family na, especially if there's a husband who decides, hindi talaga din madali magdesisyon sa end niya. Kasi kailangan niya din ng support, kailangan niyang makita kung tama o mali ba yung desisyon. And tama si Coach Lynn, submission doesn't mean that you are a lesser person. Submission means that you are respecting your partner and that you are obeying God's design. Remember that we have different roles of it. Exactly, Coach Lynn. Parang minsan kasi hirap na hirap talaga tayo to really distinguish between the roles. Especially kung yung mga well-made, madalas na failure dito is yung mga well-made women. Di ba pagpasok sa relasyon, since well-made sila, hirap din sila to really go down and submit to follow the lead of the husband. Kaya at times, nagkakaroon ng power struggle in the relationship. So, ito talaga yung mga titingnan mo. Kung papasok ka na sa relasyon at mag-aasawa ka na, titingnan mo, kaya mo bang bumaba? Kaya mo bang bumitaw at sundin what was really decided for the two of you in the marriage? And ask him for his opinion. When you ask him for his opinion, syempre dati madalas ikaw yung nagde-decide, you make decisions on your own, kung anong bibilin, saan pupunta. And of course, when it comes to the marriage, ikaw din yung may say sa budget in general. And of course, your husband honors your role. So he will allow it. But of course, it would be okay if you still ask him about what he thinks. Hindi naman ibig sabihin, pamamaya-maya, tatanungin mo siya, anong decision mo, anong decision mo? There are moments that you can also decide on your own. So, iko-qualify mo din. Ask him for his opinion, especially if it's something big that would affect the family. And of course, any decisions that of course includes your finances will also be one way of asking him for his opinions because it's the two of you. You're both providing for the family. So you have to know, you will have to ask him for his input and that is also showing him that you value your husband. And think of his needs. So thinking of his needs, like most people, of course, you're probably inclined to think of your own needs first. Syempre, may needs ka din. And okay lang naman yun kasi di ba nga, we always say, love yourself first, do what you can do for yourself because you cannot give what you do not have. And we know that everyone else have needs. So even your husbands have needs. But think about it. If you're putting yourself first and your husband is putting himself first, then where does that leave your marriage? So, may kailangan din kayong i-qualify when it comes to the needs. So, it yung mga self-care mo, yes, of course, it's important. You have to do that for yourself first because you will not be able to give what you do not have. However, you also have to consider working it out with your husband in really considering, lalo na sa decision making, you have to place him first so that he can perform his role as the husband. So try to see this thing from his angle and understand what he needs whenever you can. Hindi siya madali, yes, but it will get better in time. And so that you allow him, of course, the space to grow in the relationship. Hindi yung laging ikaw lang yung may say sa relationship nyo. And of course, the fourth is try not to criticize him or speak negatively of him. It's also one way of submitting or obeying your partner. The last thing you want to bring in the relationship, kahit nga sa friendship, parent-sibling relationship, is the negative energy. And of course, criticism is one of the way of bringing that negative energy. Um, we could accept feedbacks, yes, but you have to also, kung maganda na yung communication nyo, it's one way really of being able to give the feedback. Um, but at times kasi when we give feedback, it's more of an attack to the character of our partner. Kaya siya nagiging pangit or hindi maganda sa pandinig. So when you express it in a constructive way, not really a criticism because criticism would really hurt the person. So listen to the concern, but do your best to trust his decision. And remember, it's always best to discuss any issues you have with your husband or with your partner rather than speaking negatively about him behind his back. After all, you two are a team. And be intimate frequently. So what does it mean? Being intimate, sabi ko nga in one of my previous talk, sabi ko, intimacy is not all about sex. Ang feeling ka, isa din to sa mga misconceptions natin na when we talk about intimacy, automatic ang pumapasok sa isip natin is we're talking about sex. But it's not. When you deepen your bond between you and your partner, it's more of really being connected deeply by you're able to communicate deeply. Hindi siya talaga all about the desires of the body that you feel. So by satisfying the intimacy in your relationship, you of course you show that you care about him and his feelings so that he will know that you can put him first sometimes. So even if you aren't really feeling it that day, allow him to have that intimacy with you. And talk to him about the changes in your marriage. So, when you first decide to submit or obey your husband, talk to him about it. If he's used to taking the leads, then um, let this new arrangement be okay with him. Um, At times, you might not know what is really about it, but it's up to you to explain. You agree on something. You really have to talk about it to be able to, para makita nyo din kung asan yung value ng obedience sa relationship. Hindi lang kasi one way ang obedience. It has to be two-way. You will submit and obey your husband at the way your husband submits and obey to you as well. Kaya nga siya, it's a journey eh. It has to be something that the both of you should have a deeper communication about. Because from time to time, you might slip up in the roles that you have, and it's normal. But um, but you have to go back to the original design of the roles that you have to play in the relationship to make it work. And lastly, don't accept abusive behavior. Meron din po siyang part na when you obey or submit to your husband, you have to be careful of the abusive behavior. Tingnan mo pa din. Submitting to your husband is not really bad, but only if done correctly. Remember, your husband should treat you with love and respect, not take advantage of you. So don't ever think that intimidating or disrespecting you in the relationship is normal. You have to know your boundaries. So remember to keep yours firmly in place. So, hindi talaga part ng submission ang abuse. Ang obedience, it doesn't allow for any abuse in the relationship. So, you have to be able to know the distinction between the two of you. So, when we allow ourselves to be influenced by our husbands, we become an influence in their lives. So, one benefit of doing things in God's way and submitting to your husband is a happy marriage. Because according to one of the John Gottman, a known psychologist who studies divorce in the U.S., he said one of the leading gauges for measuring a happy marriage is whether spouses allow themselves to be influenced by one another. When you influence one another, and there is of course a give and take in the relationship, so you are not afraid to let your husband take the lead and for him to really perform his role as the lead and protector of the family, which is really what God has designed for him, while you become the able helper or supporter of your husband, which God has designed for you. So thank you so much. So for all the couples out there, or even if you're not a couple, it's the loveliest time of the year. So we're filling the digital space with the gift of love. So we invite you, of course, to visit Decaf Coffee Republic, or you can also message 0917-586-1661 to order online. If you order, you will get a Valentine journal for a minimum order of 1,500 and a couple's journal with a minimum order of 1,500 or a 45-piece set love coaching cards minimum order of 2,000. But if you want to avail all of those, the journal, the Valentine Journal, the Couples Journal, and the Love Coaching Cards for 5,000 pesos. Of course, you will get a big bonus by getting all of them. You will get the free newest online course of Master Coach A, which is the Yo-Yo Dieting worth 10,000 pesos, which is going live on February 14. So, what is the Yo-Yo Diet? Uh, so you will know more about it. You will discover how to jumpstart a healthy and delicious eating. There are like six modules. Six module actually eight modules pala to, sorry. Eight modules that will give you a glimpse of what's yo-yo dieting and how you can finally have a health, how you can really eat healthy and plan and eat healthy. And of course, this is also one of the new courses of Master Coach A, which is the One Life to Live, 8,760 hours. It's really more of you it's really more of you knowing what you really want and in life and using your time correctly for on how you really want to spend it. So it's really about the time you have consumed and you are wondering how to get the momentum of that success and you are now panicking, meron pang oras. So enroll yourself in this course. I am taking also this course as well. I have my classmates, I think, yung mga coaches na classmates ko dyan, hello. We can invite them to, you can ask them if more about this course as they are also taking this. So do join us in this One Life to Live 8,760 hours online course that would really give you what you can do with your remaining 340 days of 2021 to really count and for you to be able to foresee your future and make the plan so that you truly live the life this year. Ayusin na natin, 'di ba? We had a pandemic and nakita natin life is really short. So what can we really do to create the life that we really wanted for us and for our family? And if you're someone who's interested also to build a tribe of your own, you can join us here. If you have an unstoppable dream, connect with us and together let's build a tribe let's join the Master Builder Apprenticeship. So if you're a life coach certified by the Institute, just connect with us or with Coach Rizal to really start building the tribe that you want. As for me, if you are someone who is fighting in keeping your relationship, so I help 1 million women who are fighting to keep the relationship to be whole, to love, and to create a space where the family thrives. Wherein it starts with having the confidence to think, to express, and take action to be who they want to be in the relationship and to be a supporter of their husband in building a family that thrives. If you are that woman, connect with me and together let's build that tribe of 1 million women who is creating a family that thrives. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much, everyone. You may email me at Coach Tin de Joya at outlook.com or contact me at 0917-806-4200. Please also like my page, Coach Tin de Joya, and you can also subscribe to my group. It's not all about love coaching community. So So thank you so much. And as we end today's episode, let me invite you to visit our coaching hub, Decaf Coffee Republic, located at Pioneer Center Compound along Pioneer Road, corner of Brixton and United Streets, Capitolia, Pasig City, just across Bayanihan Center. And our coaching hub, of course, is open physically from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., but our virtual operations is 24/7 and we offer coaching services on demand any time of the day and any day of the week. Please do connect with me or with Coach Rizel through 0917-586-1661 for your coaching needs. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next week, same day, same time, and love, bam, boom. Bye bye.